Hi y'all, welcome to my channel, welcome to a new video, Hannah Diamond, Reflections, album review, let's talk about it. I'm going to start this album review off a little bit differently, unlike a lot of my reviews on this channel. I'm going to start off with my concluding statement of this video, at least what should be my concluding statement, because I'm not downgrading some people that watch my videos, but I think there might be an influx of people who love Hannah Diamond that might want to go on YouTube and either defend their queen and whatnot. That's fine. But I'm going to start with this, maybe to, I guess, alleviate some of the backlash. This is an album that I believe is setting the foundation for what is to come, laying down the groundwork for artists like Hannah Diamond or who might have been inspired by Hannah Diamond. She is setting a bar for this kind of pop music, which I believe could be the next wave of pop to come. Minimalism, synth pop with these weird trance vocals with a good amount of auto-tune and effects layered onto them. I believe what she is doing is going to be indicative of what the next decade for pop music is to come, at least maybe for the first half of the decade. Now we can start talking about the album personally. This album, to me, doesn't resonate all that much. It is a Hannah Diamond record. There is something to be said about that. She released a mixtape in 2017, and she also released so many singles here and there. We were all waiting for the debut, but unfortunately for me, I wasn't one of those everyone. And I found her shtick to be a little gimmicky, a little annoying. Not to the point where I hated her or that I loathed what she was doing, but I just didn't find it all that interesting. Surely I can see the topics talked about in her songs interesting. Like the song High, where it's talking about love in the age of the internet. Definitely a song that's worth checking out. And going into this album, I had high hopes, but I really didn't have any expectation. Mainly because I wasn't one of those people that was super invested in her. Again, I'll say this right here, right now. I said it earlier in the review, and I'll probably say it later in the review. I think what she is doing is laying the groundwork for artists to come. I just don't really care for this album all that much. The simplistic, minimalistic production behind this album is one that's just kind of boring to me. And the topics that are talked about on this album aren't that engaging. Yes, you can nod in agreement with them, obviously you can do that, but it's nothing I would find myself listening to over and over and over again, because it's like peeling back an onion. It's just like you're getting something new out of it every time. It's like peeling out an envelope. It's just one flap and you're there. You understand what this album has to offer once you go back to it a second or third time. And I think another problem with this album is the songwriting. On the song High, we actually saw a more dynamic Hannah, but this time the songwriting is lowered down. I don't really find it as engaging as the other singles that she released. And while at points on this album, sometimes the production can be loud, it can be punchy, has that nice bubblegum bass aspect to it, but most of the time it's just very minimalistic, but it's not doing anything with this minimalism. I think minimalism at its best can do a lot with a little, but on this album it just feels a little too simplistic. Honestly, for me, simplistic synth notes are not that interesting, and very wimpy arpeggios don't really intrigue me as much as the other stuff does. And I might say something that might cause a lot of controversy, backlash, I really don't know, but I feel like if you like what Blade's doing, the rapper, cloud rapper from Sweden, I believe, if you like what he's doing, I think you will see merit in Reflections, because I think what Hannah Diamond and Blade are doing are on the same spectrum. Simplistic yet futuristic and minimalistic production, as well as heavily auto-tuned vocals, not as auto-tuned as Blade's vocals however, but nevertheless still in the same realm. I think what Blade's doing is similar to what Hannah Diamond is doing on here, and vice versa. Even though what Hannah Diamond's doing is not trap music, it's not rap, I see it in the same vein. For me, at least. It's music that you can kind of, sit back on. You can just kind of experience it for just how it sounds. Honestly, for me, I like music that's a little more engaging, a little more tuneful. Not something that you have to think about or that is super conscious or that it's like you have to just like get it to get it. I mean albums that don't sound like you're just completely zoned out and whatnot. And this album, I think, is more engaging than, or definitely more engaging than Blade, but is more engaging than some of the other releases I reviewed this year. But again, that doesn't mean I enjoyed all that much. I don't hate the album. I just don't feel like I'm the right demographic for this kind of music. Spacey, futuristic production with some nice, very interesting layers to it at some points. At some points on this album, I like where Hannah's vocals are not only just layered on autotune, but then are warped into a synth arpeggio, acting as another piece of the puzzle in the production, not just acting as some kind of vocal layer. And I said it once and I'll say it again, the lyricism on this album isn't up to snuff in my opinion. I feel it's very simplistic. I feel it's very bland. I think the one song that really excited me was the song Concrete Angel, but then I realized it was actually a cover song written by another person, so that kind of went out the window for me. Nevertheless, I think this is actually the most superior song on the album. Even if it wasn't written by Hannah Diamond, I still find her vocal performance at least a little more engaging than the rest of these songs on here. And Make Believe is a good closer to this album, but throughout this entire album, I wasn't invested all that much. I wasn't finding myself to be in love with the minimalistic production of this album or the simplicity of this thing. The songwriting isn't up to snuff in my opinion, and a lot of what's on here isn't worth coming back to for another listen. I don't hate this. I don't hate what's on here. I just don't think I'm the right demographic for it. And I gave it an honest shot, and I really tried, but at the end of the day, I just don't think I'm sipping the Hannah Diamond Kool-Aid. Honestly. I will end the album review off by saying what Hannah Diamond is doing is laying the groundwork for future artists to come and to build upon. Because this is a very innovative album, but I wish it was a little more punchy, a little more engaging. Not so quiet, not so internalized. I wish it was more out there. I wish it wasn't, well, shy. Because I feel like this isn't what Hannah Diamond has to offer completely. However, I'm willing to take a chance next time and listen to her next album, because I hope she builds upon this formula, because I think she is going somewhere with this. Unfortunately, it's just not for me. And even though I'm gonna give this album a B-, a very light B-, I'm gonna tell you to listen to this thing. Because even though it's 10 tracks, 40 minutes long, it might take a little bit out of your day, but don't worry, it's not super tiresome. I think you might enjoy this because, honestly, this wave of ambient pop, art pop, minimalistic style production, along with these very nice and smooth and R&B-esque vocals. I think this style of music is becoming a little more popular, similar to what we saw on Caroline Polachek's latest album, Pain. And honestly, I didn't care for that album either, so maybe it's just me not intrigued all that much. Really, just give it a shot. If you like it, but if you don't, that's fine, and that's okay. But at the end of the day, this I don't think was extremely up my alley, but I gave it an honest shot and I really tried. And if you enjoy it, tell me. Let me know, because I'm actually very much interested in what other people have to say about this album. Really. It's getting rave reviews, and I feel like some kind of oddball for not enjoying this as much as other people do. But at the end of the day, it's my opinion, and you have your own. So that's that. Outro. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this album down below. Let me know what albums you want me to review next. And that is it. Leave a like, comment, share, do whatever you want. Let me know how I can improve future videos down below. And remember, this is only my opinion because music is subjective.